Radio Energy, broadcasting to you live. Go to radioenrg.net.
And we're moving on to talk about the Premier League. It was a huge weekend. It was a huge weekend. It was a huge Sunday in the Premier League, with all the top four facing each other. And it's hard to decide which game was game of the day, but we're going to start off with Leicester-Arsenal. It was, at the time, first versus third. Leicester, they had, so I'm trying to do maths here. Was it a 4 or 5 point gap?
I think
it would have been a 5 point gap.
It'd be 5 point gap, yeah.
Yeah, they had a 5 point gap on Tottenham, who were in second. They were beaten at the Emirates by 2-1. They had taken the lead, Jamie Vardy penalty in the 45th minute, but the game seemed to turn on a red card decision to send off Danny Simpson. Leicester held on for quite a long time after that, but they were broken through goals from Theo Walcott in the 70th minute and a late goal from Danny Welbeck, who was making his first appearance for, I think, 10 months after suffering from a number of knee injuries. So, David, huge result for Arsenal, wasn't it? And you could see the scenes when Welbeck scored that they knew this was a huge, huge win.
Yeah, I think people are now saying the title race is back on. When Leicester got that 5 point gap and big win over Man City last week, everyone's not scratching the head, but they're thinking that is this Leicester's years? They're going to go on and win it, and if they held on to the win or even a draw against Arsenal, people might have been saying this is Leicester's time to go on. But Danny Welbeck came strong in the game, and it's anyone up for grabs really. Tottenham even, and Arsenal, Leicester and Man City fell back a wee bit, but they probably could do what they usually do and put in effort for the last few weeks, and it's anyone's title this year. And
then after holding on with 10 men for so long, Luke, it was a hammer blow for Leicester to concede that last second winner, wasn't it?
It will be hugely disappointing for them. I just hope for their sakes that they don't see this as a really bad thing, that they can try and bounce back. I suppose having a break from the Premier League will help them in that case, but it must be very devastating for them. It's pretty much like the last kick of the game Welbeck scored in. But it seemed a needless free kick to give away, which is kind of the worst thing. So I'm sure, I can't remember who the player was for the life of me, but
it was Wasilewski.
Was it? Yeah. Okay.
It wasn't one of the usual starters. Came off the bench and he gave away that free kick, which led to the goal.
So I doubt he'll be in the good books for the manager. Yeah. But I mean, they still have a 2-point lead, and they have massive belief in that squad. And the players they have, no one at the start of the season would have expected it. They had the good run at the back end of last season, but nobody could have predicted to keep this going. And to be fair, they stood the test already. They went and beat Man City. And even when they were not winning games, they still kept there. They stayed within the top four, and they found themselves back at the top. So whichever way it goes, it's going to be a cracking end to the season. We know that much.
Yeah, you're right. You're right in saying that Leicester have a 2-week break now.
I think they're quite literally lying on a beach at the moment.
They probably are, yeah. You see a number of teams going off to get warm weather training at this time of the season. But that wasn't the only big game on the Sunday. Of course, we had Tottenham, Man City. Man City the week before had been beaten by Leicester at home. They wanted to make a comeback. They wanted to make a statement, but they were beaten by 2-1. David, this is it. I mean, we were questioning Spurs' title credentials, and this is a real statement from them that they could actually go on and win this league.
Yeah, I think Spurs are just a fresh team. I think since Pochettino's come in, he's been fantastic for Tottenham. Just really giving something else to the squad. You've seen kind of past 3 years. You didn't really see a team that was capable of making that title push, and this season, thanks, I would probably put it down to Pochettino. In the last few seasons, really putting an effort in. I think Tim Sherwood would take the fame for kind of bringing Harry Kane to the scene, but I think it was more Pochettino that gave him that freedom and that kind of confidence to go on and score goals and possibly become one of the best strikers in the world in the next coming few years. But it's almost as if everyone's question was the same as Leicester: can they keep it up? If Harry Kane gets injured, excuse me, they don't really have another striker, and I wouldn't really count Son as a striker. So they're kind of relying on Harry Kane quite a bit, and I think that's why they've been going for Ciro Berahino apparently for the past few seasons, because they need that kind of support and that backup to Harry Kane. So it's just if Harry Kane could keep fit, other players like Eriksen, Dele Alli, Dembele, Lloris, if they could all keep fit, why not? Why can Tottenham not go for that title push? If not, keep on for the Champions League spot.
What do you think about Tottenham, Luke?
I think, well, as David's kind of touched upon there, with having, obviously, if Harry Kane does get injured, they don't have backup, but they do have a Harry Kane, which is something they've been lacking over the last few seasons. So having a striker that can conceivably score in every single match definitely helps them. And it's worth pointing out they do actually have the best goal difference in the league at the moment. So, and obviously as well, we haven't mentioned Hugo Lloris as well. I can't pronounce that properly, but he's a cracking goalkeeper. And to me, when he first came, he kind of looked a bit, not sketchy, but not quite as good as I thought he would be, but he seems to be coming right into his own. And their centre-back partnership with Vertonghen and Alderweireld as well, that's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So as I say, they've got a very solid team, and you would be ridiculous actually to count them off. I think possibly one of the most interesting games they'll have will be against Arsenal in the run-up to the league title.
I don't think that's too far away, actually.
It's not, and that will be it's a big game anyway, but this season, but right now they're equal on points, so it will be absolutely massive. So I'm quite looking forward to that one. But yeah, to be honest, any of the 4 teams in the top 4 could conceivably win it, and it would be stupid to write Tottenham off at this stage.
Yeah, you mentioned Lloris. He made a vital save in the dying seconds to deny, I think, Otamendi from heading the ball into an empty net. I'll quickly run through the game. The game turned on the penalty, which was awarded to Tottenham in the second half. Quite a debatable penalty. It was given for a handball against Raheem Sterling. He'd sort of, to block a cross, he'd sort of jumped up, turned his body, and it sort of hit him in sort of the armpit region, wasn't it?
It was very harsh.
It was an incredibly harsh decision.
Yeah.
They levelled it up, City, through Iheanacho. They sort of responded and played quite well after that. But then Spurs, they got a very late winner from Christian Eriksen, and you could really see what it meant to them when they went over to the away fans at the end of the game and the response they were getting. It sort of reminded me of Liverpool a couple of seasons ago when they had this momentum building.
Yeah.
And it's just the spirit in the team, between the team and the fans, it's really key towards the title challenge.
Radio Energy, broadcasting to you live. Go to radioenerg.net.